Good evening, guys, wherever you're watching from. Of course, this is Main Plug TV, and today I'm Samuel Silva, hosting political show. We're gonna talk about different things, different aspects of politics, and today we're gonna look at the the reforms or the Azimio mandates that have just been put in place during the bipartisan talks. And today with me I have Scholar Evans in the studio to just help us to talk about different things concerning the bipartisan talks. Evans, welcome once again to Main Plug TV.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
And of course, I'm very grateful that today I'm hosting you for the third time. How is everything about outside there?
Everything is fine.
Life, of course, as a comrade.
Difficult, but we are managing.
We are managing.
Yeah.
So, before maybe we go, basically, maybe we look at our topic today. You've seen the students maybe demonstrating and now forcing help officials to release the funds. What's your point of view on the same issue?
Yeah, to begin with, it's a very crucial issue. If you want to sabotage a country, you sabotage the education system. So help was instituted to ensure that students are in school and they're enjoying life in school, they can get the basic needs. Delaying it, actually, I know the process, how it undergoes. Mostly it is delayed because of some individual interest. That money, before it is released, someone can choose to do with it some business. So it is in bank account, but some cartels are doing businesses with that money. So it's a lot of money, in billions.
So you don't think that maybe it's all about the procedures that it is going through for it to be released?
No,
maybe there are just some cartels now.
Over a long period of time, help have been delaying. The reason for that, it is not that the country does not have money or those people are following some procedures. They were to follow that procedure immediately after release of the last batch of help. But what happens is that is billions of money. Some cartels are investing it for a month. If you invest $1 billion for a month, you'll get millions in profit.
Maybe your comment to the comrades who are now demonstrating, who are now demanding that their money should be released.
It's your right to demonstrate. Over the years, after demonstration, help will be released. This week or next week, help will be released. Because everyone knows, at least everyone with sense in this matter, knows that someone is investing that money. So when they demonstrate, that person will release the money.
Of course. So that aside, of course, make sure you follow, you subscribe, you comment, and you share with your friends. We are coming live from Blue Barrel, whereby if you need anything, maybe you are that person who might want a drink, food, just contact us, and maybe we will link up to the main office and you will get your delivery on time. So today, Evans, I want us to look to talk about the demands and of course the bipartisan talks that are ongoing. And to maybe just to start with maybe your first comment on the whole process. Do you think maybe these bipartisan talks will bear some fruits?
Fine, it will bear some fruit because it might bring some peace between the opposition and government. Development, I doubt. Corruption, I doubt. This is what happens. We are in a country, actually, if I am very honest, where we are having thieves in government and thieves in opposition. So the talks have got different interest. Involve us, we steal with you. So sad thing to say. That is what is going. And no media personnel or any person who is in those free can say that, because they have their godfathers and they are getting some money from somewhere else. But as liberals and as youths, I'm allowed to say that. So the opposition is likely to talk with the government, and people from the opposition, actually most of them, myself included, really appreciate that feel-good effect that you are in the government. That is far much different from development. The other time we had handshake, Uhuru was working with Raila. Do you think that stopped corruption?
It never stopped.
Yes. So even this one, talks will be bring the opposition in table, and those who matter in opposition will be given some opportunities, either to still with the government or get some positions in government. That does not concern the common mwananchi.
Maybe before I ask you the next question, you know, the Kenya Kwanza coalition is by they being represented by Cecily Mbarire, Kimani Ichung'wah, and of course Hassan Omar, the lady from Bungoma, that's Karen Wambilianga, Kimani Ichung'wah. Of course the Azimio team is being led by Opiyo Wandayi. I know you know him. then Kalonzo Musyoka, who is now the chair. We have Jeremiah Kioni, we have Mwangi wa Iria, then the famous man Wajakoya.
Yeah.
The presence of Wajakoya in the same talks will have any influence?
It will, huh? Like I gave some interview in Nairobi before polls about Wajakoya. You don't underrate him because he's a learned person, number one. Number two, he wrote on manifesto that was directly touching the common people. Like common people actually in this country use drugs because of stress. That is the common mwananchi.
So maybe to me that is one of the things that made Wajakoya like an international image, because Wajakoya was everywhere.
Yes.
Was everywhere, and I saw him being interviewed in Tanzania. I think like everyone had interest to know who is Wajakoya, because he came with the ideologies that were never there before. And to some extent I think that to some extent the youths most of them accepted his manifestos, but of course he received a lot of comments from every part of the world. Maybe look at the church looked at Wajakoya like, is this the person who is now coming to destroy our youth? But of course he's the man now we have to watch.
Two things about Wajakoya, right? So Wajakoya is a good politician. He knows what people understand and what is going on in the ground. One of these interviews we should talk about drug abuse.
Of course we are arranging so that when we come next time maybe we'll share have the details.
Fine. So we have something called ownership in politics. It's not only blood. Those people who are bounded by drugs stand with one of their own compared even with blood. A good example, if you go to any university student, those people who smoke bang are close to each other. They don't even attend community meetings.
Of course.
So Wajakoya, in his wisdom or lack of the same, realized that, we have some opportunity here. Let me capitalize here. Those people supported him and he trended a lot, but he got less vote than expected. I was expecting that he'd get 1 million or 700 plus. But those people, blood of ethnicity is still stronger in this country.
Of course, that is what is driving
That does
Kenyan.
not mean that in the next 5 years, economy is tough, life is difficult. What brings people to drug is hardship. You don't want to think about your problems. So you find somewhere that you can find some solace. It's a stupid idea to use, but many people are using it, so we have to discuss it.
Of course.
So Wajakoya maybe is likely to increase his popularity, and opposition leader used that. Not that Wajakoya is intellectually upright or can discuss issues. He's somehow a comedian, but this country we are voting comedians. So he's there, but we can speak about my friend Opiyo Wandayi. Yeah, he's an intellectual. He means well for people, but he's also a sycophant to some level, to some people. He's in the system and trying to advocate for other people's right. So the question is, he's not in the forefront. So Raila is in the forefront.
But when you talk about Opiyo Wandayi, personally, I think Opiyo Wandayi has been one of the people who has been championing this bipartisan talk. So he's one of the people who are the front line. I saw the other day he was attacking. I think he was attacking Bon Khalwali.
The question is, who is he speaking for? Is he speaking for himself?
Of course, he's So you look at Opiyo Wandayi. So I think he's been one of the people who have been at the forefront fighting for the reforms. Of course, the creation of the office of the official opposition leader, opposition leader. And to you, maybe coming back now to the main topic of our discussion. So you were saying that the youths, of course, the people that the bipartisan talks. We were looking at how the will the bipartisan talks bear some fruits. So to you, you mean that maybe you are looking at in different perspectives. So looking at these bipartisan talks, will this thing now have an impact on the common mwananchi, on the common Wafula, Wanjiku, Otieno, or it's just this is all looking at the interest of these politicians?
Oh, that's a good question. Brilliant. And this is the answer. Bipartisan talks actually is we are having committees who are representing both parties, but actually it's something that rests between two people. Let us call a spade a spade. It is a conversation between Raila Amolo Odinga and William Samoei Ruto. So these individuals can choose to agree, and we call it that bipartisan talk succeeded.
They go for handshake and then
yes, but these individuals have got interest. We don't know their interest. But like any politicians, because we've seen that throughout the history, they are after their own interest. Ruto can feel this way. I want to steal, but this guy is a cancer, eating me absolutely, making a lot of noise. If you are a thief, when people start shouting, yore, 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 you don't get that comfort to steal. So the question is, how can you make people who are making noise keep quiet so that you steal? That
so you mean this is a game of interest?
One way to look at it. Or we can assume, with the benefit of doubt, that both Ruto and Raila want to help common mwananchi, because we don't know. It is in two individual interests, but they are making this individual interest to be the people's interest. The opposition is appearing as if we want to help you. We are discussing with the government how you can get the best services, but that might not be the true thing. The other time, Raila Amolo Odinga shook hands with His Excellency former President Uhuru Kenyatta. Few part of the country got some development, like Luo Nyanza. It was not all around. If we speak about common mwananchi, we have actually people called Ogiek and Robo, the Taita, the Maasai, the Turkana. It's not a matter of Luos and Kalenjins and Kikuyus. Mostly those people go there for their own individual interest, but they split some products to their communities, and a few communities like, no, that is not equity. So speaking about general common mwananchi, I doubt if that is going to succeed.
When you look at the manifestos that were being championed, the front lines were reforms in the IEBC, and of course creation of the office of the opposition leader. And when you look at this, these two mandates, basically they don't reflect the common mwananchi. They just reflect these people, the one who are fighting for it.
Oh boy.
Because by there, when you look at them, there are only two things that they're fighting: the office of the official leader, and of course reforms in IEBC. So creation of the office of the opposition leader, will this be a solution to the rankles between politicians that we have been witnessing since independence?
Interesting. This is my answer. If you want to catch a criminal, you have to think like a criminal. So if you want to discuss about politician, the first thing that you should do is to think like one.
A politician.
So I've read anything that I can put my hands on about war. During war, people bring weak people like women and children. Actually, during politics, people use common mwananchi as a shield. They're innocent and they have numbers and they can demonstrate. So if I want you to handshake me for my own interest, like just facing you like we want to do this, you'll ask me why. So I have to masquerade as if I'm carrying some. You play some games to bring some innocent people. In this case, between the two leaders, common mwananchi is a key player. So everyone must use it. That is the truth. So everyone can ride on that. Ruto actually will say that I'm doing this for common mwananchi, but really, opposition leader will say that we are doing this for common mwananchi. Like, who is common mwananchi? Many people, many youths lack job opportunities. The agendas actually, they said that they are going to employ young people. They are going to create employment opportunity. Have they done that? No. They said that they are going to improve health. Have they done that? No. They said that they are going to improve the education. Have they done that? No. Comrades are on the street about help. So we have, there is a powerful phrase that we say that politician campaign in poetry but perform in prose.
So of course I want us to now look at it like, is this creation of the office of the opposition leader going maybe to solve this problem of having rankles during each and every elections? Because of course each and every elections we experience disagreements between different politicians, and no one has ever accepted the outcome. Do you think this one, creation of the office of the official opposition leader, is going to influence maybe end this war that has been there since independence?
That question takes us back to BBI. We are discussing the winner takes it all situation. We are discussing the winner takes it all situation. And that is quite unique because it brings some peace. Actually, development takes place when there is peace. If they handshake, it will be better compared to the way we are, because investors will come in.
Of course.
And we will think for first time that people love each other. The problem with the people with influence is that when they fight, the two of them, it is felt in the ground. Like Luos feel that Kalenjins are wrong or Kikuyos are this way. And you cannot run a country where people are that much divided ethnically. Because these people have what we call, they do what we call ethnicity balkanization. So Ruto is supported by his people tribally, with his ethnicity is there, is a factor which is there. So if they handshake, at least we'll be in a better place because we will have peace for the first time. Many investors will come.
But it will not solve that conflict that we've been experiencing.
No, it will not solve. And for us to go where you want us to go, it will take a number of factors. Number one, education of the illiterate, of the electorates. We are illiterate. We vote basically because of ethnicity. We cannot think. You get that? We cannot scrutinize the ideas by the politician. That is number one. Number two, we don't have moral backbone. Number three, we don't say the truth. So Sai, we can have that benefit of doubt that Ruto picks random people. High chances that the people that he will pick in the position of the CS will be thieves is extremely high. We are all thieves. We don't have manners.
So it means that maybe these reforms, maybe creation of the office of the opposition leader, is just a burden to the common mwananchi who is now struggling outside there to make both ends meet, and now is now being exposed to another burden of maybe paying tax in order to pay for someone who is in the office, but now we don't see the importance of him being the office, because creation of the office of the opposition leader, for me, I expect maybe it will end these wars that have been there during elections. According to you, maybe you say it will not change anything. So do you think this is now just burdening the common mwananchi?
Yes, actually this is burdening the common mwananchi. Actually, to correct you, we have the office of the opposition leader. We do have it. But now the problem is working with the government.
Maybe not. It's not recognized. Maybe
they make a lot of noise, sometimes rational, and they use common mwananchi to catapult their own agenda. But if we go back to the reality, it will not bring much. It is not a solution. This country brought up individuals who are thieves, who are liars. Everyone is after their own interest. So we have a tragedy when we give them actually people will benefit from one. People who are in the position will benefit one thing: feel good effect. And actually, if you look at the way people from Mount Kenya are speaking, Gachagua included, and many Kikuyu leaders, they don't want this, because if you bring Raila Amolo Odinga, people from Nyanza will benefit and they will not.
And of course they know the handshake is going to be there, and it is going to be the same thing that
so
we witnessed
in
2017.
Yeah, so they are.
So will this creation of the office of the official opposition leader maybe influence, maybe limit or maybe influence the performance of now this opposition leader, because this is a person who is now going to maybe have an official or office? Then you look at this person is going now to be maybe paid by the same government he needs to criticize. So to you, does this means that maybe his performance, the performance of this opposition leader is going now maybe to reduce to some extent, because he now have to give in to some of the mandates of the government for him to earn maybe from this government?
Definitely. We go on. Fine. When the office of the opposition leader is introduced,
yes. Of course, I was asking that the office of the official opposition leader has not been there.
Yes.
And of course, now when you look at it, they are fighting for it to be introduced. Do you think that this introduction of this office is going now to limit the opposition leader from now openly championing or now being a watchdog to the government, taking in mind that this is the person who is now like representing the people, who is now the eye of the people? Now he's going to be paid by the government just because he's in office. Do you think that do you see that this one will limit him from now performing his functions fully, because bearing in mind he's being paid by the same government he needs to criticize?
Definitely that is going to limit the office of the opposition leader. The rule is simple: he who pays the piper calls for the tune. That is definitely going to happen. When office of the opposition leader was working with the last president during handshake, he could not speak much about crucial issues that were happening. His aim was to camouflage and tell the individuals that the government is doing very well, which is not his role. Opposition leader is the watchdog. You cannot be a good watchdog if the same person is feeding you.
Of course.
Those should be, there is a reason why it is called opposition leader. They should see where we have a problem and rectify it accordingly. If you look at most of the governors or county government, they are not functioning very well because their watchdogs are the senators.
Of course.
And you'll find in Nyanza, if a governor is from ODM, high chances the senator is from
ODM.
So they work closely with their party leader because they are under one umbrella. So they don't want any opposition, because the opposition leader or the government, they don't want chaos in their respective parties. So they are limiting governors from playing their crucial role, which is the oversight, because they are in one umbrella. The same thing will happen if the opposition leader works with the government. So it will definitely limit. It will definitely limit.
So do you think this is right? And now like introducing this office will be right, because now the opposition or the eye of the people will not function fully. So it remains now a gap. Who will now fill in this gap?
We have a problem because it is both right and wrong. It is right because it is going to bring peace and stability for investors if they shake hands and work together. But also it's going to limit the individuals, because those two entities, if they work together, common mwananchi will not achieve much.
They will of course suffer.
Yes, they will be in the same bed, and whoever you are in the same bed, you don't criticize them with a lot of oomph and vigor.
Of course, Evans, let's now look at maybe let us wrap up by looking at the second reform. They are demanding, the Azimio team is demanding for the reforms in the IBC sector, the EBC. Before maybe you comment on the whole thing, do you think IEBC, Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, is independent in Kenya?
It is not independent.
Why do you think so?
The rule is simple. When people speak about you, there are some doubts about you. We have that government, that institution, the IBC. We've had a number of questionable questions from the both parties after every elections. Actually, I would not even give it the benefit of doubt that is perfect, because if you look at the individuals who are in this country, like, they are not the best. So we have a problem as a country, and I keep on saying this because our trustworthiness is in doubt, number one. So those people who are running the IBC, they are likely to be compromised. We forgot about our values. The last time, 4 people said that the elections were not free and fair out of 7. So there was a chaos in IBC. Even the other time, people like Akombe ran away. So the impression itself says that there is something fishy going on. We've not seen consistency, and we've not seen solidarity in that commission. So I may be right.
And when you look at it, its current state, of course, these people who are elected maybe or are appointed to hold these offices, most of them are now shying away from holding such offices. Do you think now, how should the government do to now bring the trust to these people, so that even if he is elected or is appointed to that office, he will be free to perform his functions? Because most of them, you have just said about example of Roslyn Akombe, they ran away just because of their fear of who am I going to stand with, because wherever you stand, you will be wrong, you see. So how is what should the Kenyan government do, or the people, or the politicians do, or people in the parliament, or our representative do, to make sure that they bring back the trust of these people who might want to work in these same sectors?
They should just mean their words. They pick people who are merited in that job, but they don't just pick them to conduct their duties. They pick them to be one of them, so when the time is ripe, they use them, that I gave you this job to play my interest. So they are the people who are playing dirty games. If you see honest people running from that commission, is that I qualify and I should discharge my duty with vigor and tenacity, but someone is now putting a bullet on my head that I have to do whatever they want. So it's upon them to change. Yeah.
What is your general comment on the Cherera 4 who are now facing a trap in the same? What's your comment on Cherera 4? Those are IBC officials who are who just resigned.
If they were nominated with one agenda to support the Raila Amolo Odinga, as many people are whispering, I've heard that from the grapevine, that means that they were wrong. It all started wrong. But if they were appointed based on merit, and they mean well for this country because they are patriots, then they were to stand with the truth. We don't know the truth, because they had their claims, other people had their claims. They were the majority, and I don't know what is going on with them. But now, if they were appointed because they were going to play someone's interest, like, that is wrong by a lot. But if they were appointed because of merit and they were ready to serve their country, then I congratulate them for standing with the truth and tell people what was going on.
Maybe to just now wrap up on the same issue, because our time, of course, I'm being told that our time is gone. So do you think the reforms, bringing about reforms in the IBC, maybe body, will influence the outcome of the coming general elections?
No. because our reforms have got some political interest attached to it. So how can they do that reform? Raila, if he is given the opportunity and the position to appoint people, he'll appoint people that he will hold responsible during the next election. Do for me this. That is why I'm giving you this. The same to the government. So until one day that we will choose to pick people to deliver free and fair elections without compromising them or forcing them to do what we want, is when reform.
So who are these people to pick? Those people who can merit to hold these offices, because you have just been referring to when the time comes, maybe we pick people. Who are these people to pick? These people to now into those offices.
In every society, we have movers and shakers of that society. In this case, we have our politicians. They are the bigwigs. They influence in one way or the other the nomination of those people and the processes. But the bad thing is that they've been mandated to do that, but they do that with their own individual interest, which is wrong. One day, I hope, because I'm Kenya optimistic, that we will find leaders who will advocate for free and fair without their own hidden agenda in terms of interest, who will pick people who will be the free referees to oversee election which is free and fair.
Do you see this coming soon?
Yeah, but not very soon. It will start with you and me in our generation. It will start actually from our families, from our churches, our homestead, by planting virtues. There was a time that people were not so good in the planet, Africa included, but noble men emerged. Kwame Nkrumah was there, Tom Mboya was there, Julius Kabarage Nyerere was there, and Gamal Abdel Nasser was there, and Thomas Sankara was there. So their time comes. It just worries me that it has delayed for us to have people with that oomph and good meaning, people like Tom Mboya. But that does not mean that they'll never emerge. This is the cycle of life. Bad men will cause pain to themselves and their kids, and that pain, the kids will learn to be good men. Then they'll provide a lot of good things and goodness. Then their kids will ignore that, this is how things work. Then they turn to be bad. So it's a circle. So we are waiting. Maybe in my lifetime or my kids, we will have good men.
But maybe to some extent, when you talk about reforms, maybe they'll we are now. Let's look at in this perspective. Maybe to most of the Kenyans, they now have maybe some. You know, Raila Amolo Odinga, William Samoei Ruto, and all other politicians have their influence and they have their people behind their backs. And so, when they see these people coming together, maybe to talk and to have some reforms, I think to some extent it will now bring some trust to most of the Kenyans that, of course, we are now at the dinner table, all of us. So to some extent, maybe we shall reduce this conflict that we have been experiencing during elections. But to the other side, the person who will be suffering, maybe it will be the common mwananchi.
It is what I call feel-good effect. Actually, it is not help. Like actually, even today, many Kenyans are not benefiting from the government,
of course,
but they are feeling nice. Our own is on the top. So even if they handshake, they'll have their own agendas and they'll do their things. But you'll see many Luo people who will be very optimistic and happy about that because psychologically they are in the government. But we don't work with psychology everywhere. We want things. We want food on our table. We want our kids going to school, and we want health.
Maybe you are just maybe your final remarks, because I see now time is not on our side. We have to maybe to end at that point. Your final remarks, and of course tell people to subscribe after finishing remarks. Tell people to subscribe and of course watch, so that every time we upload, every time we have a session, they get to know what is going on around the world.
Subscribe and share and be with us. And as you do that, ensure that individual is supreme than group. So the group mentality about we are in order, we are in Azimio, does not really count much. So we want someone who can bring for us basic needs. The agenda is the agenda. The agenda, if it is not bringing food and health on the table, it is not a good agenda. So we should focus on how is this helping us.
Of course, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, Scholar Evans, for making your time, and of course, getting here that we have we have a discussion over different aspects of politics. And today, I think and I hope someone outside there has been influenced or have just got something out of what we have talked. So until the next time, I've been Samuel Silva with my guest, Scholar Evans. Make sure you follow, subscribe, and you comment, you share, so that we keep on updating you on the current affairs and politics as they go on in our country. I've been Samuel Silva. Till next time.